25, 40. Run, William, run. He's got blockers in front. 5, touchdown. Joshua Cribbs. Snap back, ball down. Kick block. They block the kick.
This is the Oranges, Orange or Browns podcast, part of the Press Play Podcast Network. I'm your host, Chase Smith, and with me, as always, the Browns insider, Jeremy Powell. Jeremy, week 13 coming up, man. What's going on?
Chase, playoff run, baby. The biggest game in the league. Go through the schedule. This is the game of the week. Your Browns versus the Tennessee Titans. Get excited, baby.
It does seem to be the marquee matchup. Also joining us, she is your favorite and our favorite Emmy-nominated digital content producer at News Channel 5, Cameron Justice. Cameron, we play the 8-3 Titans marquee. Jeremy saying playoff push. What say you, girl?
This is exciting and nerve-wracking. It's a big game. I didn't expect to feel this way, going into this, but this feels important. So here we are, ready for it.
Very important game, a very important test for this young team. It's still a relatively young team for this brand new coaching staff. A very good test on the road. And we can't overstate the playoff foreshadowing that we're seeing this week. Well, Cameron, let's jump to your keys to the game. If we want to come away with a victory against the 8-3, almost AFC champion Tennessee Titans on Sunday afternoon. What you got?
Keys to the game this week. First two keys are separate, but they go hand in hand at the same time. First key, the clear key, which I say almost every week, establishing that run game with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. You can't go wrong when you do it. This game is going to likely be pretty physical. Both teams touting elite running backs. So it's going to be more important than ever to win on the ground if possible and when possible and keep the time of possession in Cleveland's favor. That's going to be a really big key here, I think. So the Titans defense on the rush game runs about middle of the pack relatively in the league. It's not like they're, against the best defense out there. So they need to look to exploit that, especially on third downs. That is where the Titans have been struggling. Their Titans defense is struggling on maintaining their third down. And so 53% right now of teams convert their third downs against the Titans. Browns will hope to do that even more when possible. Second key of the game is hand in hand, marrying the pass game with the run game. Baker Mayfield is going to need to look more confident when it counts. He said today in a press conference that he's hard on himself. He's very critical of himself. And those easy touchdown passes we saw last week, particularly the one to Rashard Higgins that everyone was just baffled by, they eat at him and they make him mad. So he's going to have to take that, learn from them. He said that he's breaking it down. His footwork was wrong. He read it wrong. He knows what he did wrong. So taking those mistakes, fixing them, correcting them heading into Sunday against the Titans, and we're going to hopefully see that progression with him. And those easy passes shouldn't be missed. You can't miss them. You can't give up any points. You can't leave any points off the board going into this matchup because it's going to be a tough one. And he's going to hope to find another groove. Maybe it's with Jarvis Landry again like last week. But if he gets in a groove with one of his receivers at least, then they should be able to efficiently run a nice run and passing game offense. We should see a lot of play action. It should look really good from Baker Mayfield. And the final key to the game is going to be the toughest. It's not really the most important, but it doesn't hurt. They're going to want to try to do everything they can to hold Derrick Henry to under 100 yards. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the Titans lose. They have won games without Derrick Henry reaching 100 yards. And, they've lost games where he has reached 100 yards. But it doesn't hurt to stop an elite running back who is the core of an offense, trying to stop him. They've got Myles Garrett back. He's off of the reserve COVID-19 list. He's going to bolster that defense. They should look good. They were able to, do their thing with Myles off the field. It's going to hurt with Denzel Ward out, but they've been really good at that next man up mentality, filling in with Myles Garrett back in action. The defense, they've got to play well. So if they can do those three things, they might just stand a chance against the Tennessee Titans.
Might just stand a chance. Cameron, I like it. I dig. Jeremy, you are a resident locksmith. What do you think about those three keys of the game?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's actually going to be a super high scoring game. It's going to be 50 and mostly sunny. The weather will not be a factor. Cameron's right. We need to get the run game and the pass game going, but I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think the Browns are going to have to score a lot of points to win this game. I think the defense is going to have problems. Look, everybody's been having problems with Derrick Henry. He's been an absolute monster. 175 yards last week. He's been an absolute man. He's big and he's fast. You're not going to shut him down. Look, the Browns aren't going to shut him down. That's why I think we talked a lot about Baker Mayfield's going to have to win a couple games. This might be one of them. This might be a week where, yes, we'll get the run game going, but Baker's going to have to put up 300 yards and 3 touchdown passes for us to win. So I agree with her also the next man up mentality. I think the team would definitely get some juice out of the fact that Myles Garrett is back. How could you not? He's one of the best players in the league. He's an impact player. He makes game-changing plays almost every week. So the Browns are relatively healthy. Look, if you look at the injury report today, I think Denzel was the only active player who didn't practice. We're getting guys. Andy Janovich is back. The offense is really healthy. So, I mean, there's no excuse on the offense. Look, we got everybody we're going to have for the rest of this year playing this week. So the offense should be able to move the ball. And I just hope the defense can make enough plays to keep us in it and give us a chance at the end, Jace.
Cameron, I think one of the most important stats you read, which is a great find by you, was the Titans' third down inefficiency on defense. I think in order for the Browns to elongate their drives, control the time of possession, control the field position, really lean on Chubb and Hunt. Jeremy, I'm going to go the opposite way. I think because of their effort to keep Henry off the field and keep AJ Brown off the field, they're going to try these long, sustained, kind of like what the Raiders did us. I think you mentioned that in our last episode. Like, we've got to do to the Titans what the Raiders did to us a couple weeks ago. We've got to limit what they do on offense, get them off the field quickly, and then just control the ball in the line of scrimmage. Our defense, like, I know Myles is back. We don't know what he's going to be like after COVID. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if he's not going to be as strong. We don't know if he's not going to have as much endurance. He's already, I think his endurance is his weakest part of the game anyway. I think he gets winded really easy. And so who knows what he's going to be like there. But if we can really, really milk the clock and get first down after first down after first down and then convert not field goals, but actual touchdowns, I think that's our only shot at this game. And not to, tip my hat to the rest of the pod, but I'm really concerned about this game. So I love get long drives. I trust a Baker on anywhere from 0 to 15, 20 yards to make the right accurate throw. I think he showed that last week. Red zone notwithstanding. I think our running backs, and we were talking pre-show, the top 3 backs lead the league in yards after their first contact are Henry, Chubb, and Hunt. And they're in this game. I think it's going to be just incredible old school smash mouth run type of game football. And Cameron and Jay, it does kind of rest on the run game and our ability to control the clock. Jay, go ahead.
I think, this is what I think. Now, we also talked pre-show about how the Browns don't really have anyone to take the top off of defense currently, right? We got a lot of our receivers right now, most receivers, possession guys, tight ends, which is great. But I think the Browns, I think you're right. They're going to try to control the game, but I think they want to get out early. I think they're going to look for a couple big plays early, a couple explosive plays, a couple early scores, then try to take the air out of the ball some. So I look for the Browns to try to come out early with some explosive plays in the first couple of drives, get a lead, and then do what we do best, which is they call it the 4-minute offense: grind out into the half score, grind out into the game, get the first downs by just running the ball. I think that's probably the game plan. I know Kevin Stefanski, and he said in the past, he's not a believer as much as maybe other regimes have been is offense to defense. He just thinks score as many points as you can on offense to win the game, right? So we'll see what happens, but I'm excited. I mean, how could you not be excited for the game too? We got Ian Eagle and Charles Davis on the game. Most of the country is going to see the game. It's fun, and I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be an exciting game. We just hope the Browns live up to this big matchup.
Cameron, high scoring or low scoring? Look into your Cameron crystal ball here. What do you see?
Let me see. It looks like the tarot cards are saying no, I could see it going both ways. I do think it might be a little higher than I would originally have thought.
Okay. You almost didn't give me an answer. I
know. I did think it was going to be low
crystal
scoring.
Ball, she's working it here.
I did think it was going to be low scoring, but the way the Browns have been talking leading up to this game, it sounds like they want they do want to pass the ball a lot more than I would assume that they would do. I really think this is gonna be a game in the air as much as it is on the ground. And so I think they do have the potential for a high scoring game. So I don't think it should be like super crazy, like outrageous record breaking numbers, but higher than, a typical game, one with smash mouth football, just a couple touchdowns and that's it. I think you'll see a lot more scoring.
Cameron, I love your three keys. I agree with them. We have to establish the run game, control the ball. We have to have a complementary offense. We have to run and pass. Baker has to do what he needs to do. I think containing Henry is important. I don't think we're going to be able to, but I don't think he is the special ingredient in that offense. I think he is the main ingredient. I think the one part of their offense that we have to contain is AJ Brown. And if we can make their offense one-dimensional, if we can take him out of the game and allow us to focus on Henny, and Henny's gonna Henny. He's gonna run. He's gonna break tackles. It's gonna look beautiful as he runs. I've never seen a running back like him. Tall, fast, powerful. Like, he's special. Chubb looks small. I think Chubb looks small compared to Derrick Henry.
No, he's massive.
And it's just incredible. So I think Henry's going to get his. I think if we can limit AJ Brown, them together really, really scare me. And I think if we're trying to contain both of them, it's impossible, and they're just going to keep scoring. And so I would probably substitute the AJ Brown there for number 3, Cameron. But what do I know? You're the professional, and
I just felt like containing Derrick Henry might be a little bit more manageable for the Browns defense.
Yeah, that is true. Well, Jeremy didn't mention AJ Brown either, which I don't know why. Jeremy, we do not have a player like AJ Brown. He's
big and he's physical and he's fast.
Carried that team to overtime last week against the Colts. Is that right?
They
just jumped on his back and he's like, "No, we're going to score. Here we go." And it's just we haven't had Josh Gordon. He reminds me of Josh Gordon, to be honest. Just tall, fast. And so I don't know. I think AJ Brown's the X factor. I think we're going to see a running back, beautiful school of amazing running football. And I'm terrified of AJ Brown, Jeremy. I don't know.
Currently right now, look, everybody knows we're shorthanded in the secondary. We don't have Denzel Ward. Our corners are not big physical guys. Our corners starting this week are T. Mitch, Money Mitch, and Kevin Johnson. They're not big guys. So it'll be interesting to see how they do decide to cover him and what they do decide to do. I think Cameron's probably right. I think they will attempt to slow down Derrick Henry as much as they can and take their chances in the secondary. And as you pointed out, that could be a dangerous game.
Yeah, I do. I like Chase. You have a very great point. I didn't leave AJ Brown out because I don't think he's
you only have 3 points.
You're right. I only have 3 keys, and the Brown secondary is what it is. we know they've struggled, and so
look, put AJ Brown on Sendejo Island and just let him just
look. There's no doubt, Chase, that the Browns' defensive line has played much better in recent weeks. And now you get to add Myles Garrett back into the mix. So, Cameron might be right. The best bet, I think she is right. The best bet, and that the Browns are going to do, is try to limit the damage from Derrick Henry and take their chances with the passing game. And we'll see how that shakes out.
Somebody gets it.
I don't know. I mean, they were saying Tannehill is putting up MVP numbers in the first half of the year. Like the last 8 games. Did you see there was? Yeah. Here.
If you look at his last 10 games, I believe it was 10 starts, his numbers are almost identical to Patrick Mahomes, believe it or not.
Oh my God.
Incredible.
So I don't know. I'm high on the Titans. I don't understand why people are writing him off 3 weeks ago. They're like, "Oh, the Titans are overrated. They're what were they 5-3 or 4-3 or something?" I don't know. I think Vrabel is one of the best coaches in the NFL. I think he has his players prepared and his in-game adjustments. I think the Titans' strongest game is their offense. I think their defense is their weakest point. I think they have who's their safety that is it Bird? How do you pronounce it? Byard, I think is actually how it's pronounced. He's terrifying. I think he's one of the best safeties that we're going to face all season long. And I don't know. I'm just really terrified. I need you guys to help me talk me off the ledge for this week because I don't know. I'm not expecting a lot, and I'm an optimist. But I don't know. I think they are a good 2 years ahead of where we want to be. I think we're really similar teams. But I just, I don't know if Stefanski is as good as Vrabel. I think he has shown that he can be. But I don't know. I'm sorry. It seems you guys were on the same page. I'm pretty pessimistic over here.
Stop.
Well, look, right, Chase. But you know what? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to win this game, but I'm definitely excited for it. Look, how many times have we talked about meaningful football in December? We are playing meaningful football. We have the best game this week. 2 8-3 teams. It's exciting, and look, let the chips fall. This is why you're a fan.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and this is a new feeling. Like,
yeah, right.
I don't know, Cameron, Jeremy. We'll see what happens. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with our game preview, and I will share more of my insecurities and fears going into this game against the Titans.
All right, we have to take a quick break to talk about Shart.com. Yes, that's right. You heard me, Shart.com. I'm talking about a t-shirt frame. It's shirt, it's art, it's Shart. And just in time for Christmas, this Shart t-shirt frame is the best design DIY t-shirt frame on the market today. You can display your favorite tees with professional results in less than a minute. If you don't want to get rid of all your Cleveland sports t-shirts, I know you have a lot of them. I have a lot of them. Nobody wants to get rid of them. And you definitely don't want to cut them up or put holes in them. So the Shart t-shirt frame helps with that. You can hang them up in style. The foam insert and high quality frames prevent you from having to cut your shirt. They keep that memory safe and beautiful for years to come on display in your home. The Shart.com t-shirt frame comes fully assembled with turn buttons, real glass sealed in place for safe t-shirt framing, and 2 sawtooth hangers nailed into the back of the frame so you can mount your piece of Shart either horizontally or vertically, depending on how that shirt looks. If you visit Shart.com today to make your purchase, if you're an Oranger listener, you can use the promo code GOBROWNS at the checkout and receive 20% off your entire order. Limit 1 use per customer. I have my t-shirt hanging up on my wall. It's the Cavs champion t-shirt. It's great. Love it on the wall. It's Shart.com. Get your promo code GOBROWNS, 20% off. Treat yourself. The offer ends on December 15th. Order your Shart today. Now let's get back to the show.
All right. Thank you, Cameron. Good job on our Shart.com ad read. Got to pick up one of those for sure. Hey, let's hit to our game preview. Here we go. Sunday, 1 p.m. kickoff at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. Browns are 8-3, Titans 8-3. See, just saying that already helps that we're 8-3. That's nice to know. And maybe I'm just forgetting that we are a good football team. I don't know. The Browns this doesn't help, but the Browns have the worst point differential for a team to start 8-3 or better of all time in NFL history at -21. Obviously those are skewed by the Ravens and Steelers games week 1 and
Vikings.
Whatever game that was. So that doesn't really help. We'll talk about the Steelers Ravens a little bit later because they played today. And I think we need to talk about that here and maybe at the end of the show. We last met in 2019 and boy, we opened the year in Cleveland and the season ended after our first touchdown. Nothing else happened after we scored 6 points. It was just perfect. We had an incredible scripted series and it was great. Everyone was going nuts. The Titans fan were scared. Everyone was like, oh, the Browns are for real. And that's how it ended, right? That was the end of the season.
You would hope, you would wish, forget the rest of it.
We missed an extra point and we might as well that was the perfect epitome of the season. It was awful. We got embarrassed. Baker tried to do too much, forcing throws. Vrabel and them were laughing off the field about the squad. It was an embarrassment. Crap show is what we'll say, only because it's anyway. That's what happened, all downhill. The Browns were kind of like the Bizarro Titans. We are first in the league in rushing. Titans are second in the league. All right, so that's something. The Browns are 30th in passing on offense. The Titans are 22nd, which I think is concerning. The Browns are 16th on defense, a little bit better. The Titans are 24th. And another interesting, the Browns are allowing the second most fantasy points to a tight end this season. And we know Jonnu Smith can be a threat in the middle of the field in the red zone if they ever get there and Henne doesn't put it in. Nick Chubb, I mean, the story of the game is Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, and Kareem Hunt continuing to be the elite running backs in the league. Dalvin Cook, you might be having a great year, but you're no Henry, Chubb, or Hunt. I am sorry. I'd still rather have any of those three backs than any other back in the NFL. Jeremy, it's time to guess the line, man. What do you think? What's the line of this
Well,
game?
I see what. So I'm going to say they're going to give. I'm going to say Titans by 6.5.
Ooh, Cameron, do you know the line?
I think I do. No,
All right.
maybe I don't. You tell me. You tell me.
No, I'm looking at it. You, what do you think it is? Or do you not want to guess?
I'd say Titans 7.
It's Titans 4.5.
4.5. Wow, that's because you get the 3. 3 for being the home team. I figured 3 more. That's why I went with 6.5.
Yep.
So okay, not bad. That's a little bit of respect there for the Browns.
Well, I think Vegas knows people love betting on the Browns. People always think the Browns are going to do better than they do, and I don't know.
Especially
Maybe
Browns
maybe they've
fans.
gotten burned by the Browns this year. I don't know. I
Browns
think it's
fans love to give away their money.
I would probably still take the Titans in this. I don't know. I think the Titans are going to cover. I actually picked the Titans in my pickings against the spread league, and maybe do a reverse jinx. Maybe try to do a win-win there. This is just I don't know. Jeremy, do we have a chance on Sunday? I mean, I
Of
feel
course.
like
Look,
I'm really, really down.
We have a chance because of how good our running game is. I mean, when we have Hunt and Chubb healthy, I don't think you're ever going to be completely out of a game going into it. But no, we're going to have some stuff bounce our way. We're going to need Myles Garrett to make one of those game-changing plays. We're going to need something like that to happen. We're going to need a big play on special teams, maybe a Myles Garrett strip sack, something, some type of explosive play like I talked about earlier. I think to give us a shot in this game. But hey, do we have a shot? Absolutely have a shot. These are all professional athletes paid any given Sunday. But the Browns are 8-3. So it's a big game. The Browns need to make some big plays. Big players make big plays on big games. We need a Myles Garrett if he's fully healthy. We need someone to make a game-changing play.
Cameron, do we have a chance? I mean, is this just a pipe dream?
No, we have a chance. And I feel like this is a really big game for them. I mean,
I agree.
This is why you're nervous, right, Chase? Because this is a test. They haven't had this. This is the criticism that the Browns have gotten this season, is that they're 8-3, but they're 8-3 because they've had an easy schedule and they've beat bad teams. I mean, they beat the Colts. The Colts aren't a bad team. So that should have, but they're not a great team.
Mm-hmm.
Titans are a really good team, right? And so, they got crushed by the Ravens. They got crushed by the Steelers. Should not be a surprise. Those are also great teams. The Ravens, not so much anymore. This next matchup, I feel a little bit.
I don't want to say I told you so, but
I know, right? But we're at this point now where this is the test. They beat the teams they were supposed to beat. And this is the matchup where it's that, this is their moment to show that they're not just beating bad teams, they are capable of beating good teams too. And I think it's not the rivalry of the Ravens and the Steelers where it's a little bit more pressure on you. It's still an AFC matchup, but it's not that same energy. So this is the time to show, put it all on the table, show you can beat a good team, stop the criticisms, and then Chase, I think that you might be a little bit more confident moving forward in these last couple of games of the regular season.
Well, and you nailed it exactly, Cameron. And thank you for putting into words. It's your job to do this, so you did it very well. Some of my concerns. This is a playoff matchup, and this is a preview of what's going to happen in January. We're going to have to go into some stadium and beat a really good team. We don't know what's going to happen. We've seen what happened before against teams that were good. We got embarrassed, and maybe this is me trying to limit, because I had such high hopes in week 1, and I'm like, oh, we're going to crush the Steelers, blah, 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 for Myles, blah, 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 blah. And then we just get embarrassed. And so maybe this is me like saying, oh, it's going to happen again. But I think this is a very important game. This is a huge litmus test to, okay, where do we stand? Where do I stand as a coach? Where do we stand as a team? Where do we stand like as a quarterback? Where do we stand as a running back? You don't think Chubb and Hunt want to be the best backs in the league? They want to show up Derrick Henry just as much as they want to show us up. And so I think this is a very important game. And not only to see where we're at now, at the beginning of the year, we said, hey, if we make the playoffs, that's great. It's week 13. We're probably going to make the playoffs. We're playing with house money apparently right now, right? This is all learning experience. We were told, hey, next year is the year we need to have these high expectations. well, hey, we're 8-3. I have high expectations now. And so I'm looking at week 13 and I'm saying, hey, this is a sneak peek of what we need to do. How far are we away? And we'll see what happens, Jay. Does any of that make sense?
Yeah, now let me give you a little bit of hope here. The Titans have had a weird year. Okay,
Yeah.
The Titans beat the give up 30 points to the Jags, beat them by 3. The Titans gave up 30 points to the Vikings, beat them by 1, 31-30. The Titans gave up 36 points to the Texans, beat them 42-36. The Titans gave up 31 in a loss to the Bengals. Okay, the Titans give up 34 in a loss to the Colts. The first time they played them. So, and 26 the second time. The Titans have given up some points. Look, that's not a great defense. And they've had some weird games, and they've had trouble with teams that you might see as inferior. Now they beat the Ravens, but it's been a weird year for the Titans. So to say that we're going to go in there and get stomped out and, come running out with our tail between our legs, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Browns are going to move the ball. The Browns are going to score points. They're just going to need Baker to make some big plays and Myles Garrett or somebody on defense to make a game-changing play. That's what I think. I just think this Titans team, look, they're a good team, but they're not a world-beating team. This isn't, the 85 Bears we're running into here. This is a good team that the Browns can play with.
You're right. Cameron, most important game of the season so far?
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, especially at the point where we're at. I don't think it gets any more important than this. This is that milestone where if you get over it, I mean, you've achieved what you were supposed to achieve. You've done what you were supposed to achieve this season. And like Chase, to your point that we talked about, yeah, the goal is obviously playoffs because the Browns haven't been in so long. Mm-hmm. But this is Kevin Stefanski's first year at the helm. I mean, there are so many new components to this team, the offensive line, Baker Mayfield in his new system. So you have to give it time. But if they can get to the playoffs, I mean, and it's not wrong for anyone to, want this Browns team to expect greatness out of them because they've shown they're capable of it and they're in this place and they're a winning team. They're 8-3. This hasn't happened since 1994. So when you get to that point, it's very, very understandable to, jump and be like, okay, next, I'm not going to settle for just making the playoffs and getting bounced. I want more. But if that happens, that I don't think is the end of the world. I think the Browns still did exactly what they needed to do. So I would just go into these games thinking like, this is a must-win game. This is very important. And yes, it's a test to see how we can play in the playoffs, how we can beat a good team, which is what they'll have to do. But if it doesn't happen, if they can just show that they can play well, that's really the big step that the Browns really need to take this week, is they can't get crushed on Sunday. That would be a devastating blow to what this team looks like moving forward. But if they can hold their own, for the third time getting crushed against a good team, that would be really, really a devastating blow to the way you feel about this team moving forward and their hopes for next season and to, push into the playoffs and, hopefully eventually make that Super Bowl run. But I think that even if they just hold their own on Sunday, if they hold their own and they look decent and they look like they belong on the field with the Titans, I think that right there shows you that this Browns team is exactly where they need to be and maybe even ahead of where we should have, or we even thought that they would be at this point.
Yeah, and this is a chance, Chase, for the Browns to put the league on notice, right? If they go in there and they win this game, then all the people that have been saying the worst 8-3 team in NFL history, blah, 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 nobody cares. That all changes. That's okay. I see you, Cleveland Browns. So that's what they have this week. They have a chance to put the league on notice, to show they're for real. And don't think the Browns don't know this. The players watch TV. They hear the stuff. They read the memes that are floating around. They know the stats, like you just said, the first time in NFL history, whatever the worst point differential in NFL history they know this stuff. They know what people are saying, but they can go in there and, like I said, they can put up points on this team. This is not a great defensive team. So I just don't think it's going to be a blowout, Chase. I don't think this is a Pittsburgh scenario. It's definitely not a Baltimore scenario. Look, that was just a bad draw for the Browns to have to go up against them week 1 in this 2020 season. So I think the Browns are ready. I think they're prepared. I think they've been through a lot of adversity, and I think they're going to go out there and they're going to, at the very least, play a competitive game.
So I couldn't think of a better segue to jump to our narratives, Jay. Is that the narrative you're going with? What do you see narratives coming out of this game?
I think the Browns come out of this game and people say, they are for real, and the 1-2 punch of Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb is legit. And the Browns at the like I said, I'm not saying they're going to win the game or not, but I think you're going to come out of this game saying the Browns are a legit playoff contender.
Man, that would be nice. Cameron, what are some narratives you're going to write after this game?
I love how we frame that. Well, I don't know for sure. I will wait until the game, but narratives that I can see coming out of this if they win is, are the Browns the real deal? Yes, they are, because I mean this is the test. The criticism has been they've played bad teams, they beat bad teams, but this would change that. This would be the solidifying game that showed that the Browns are on the path to success, and the Browns have really found success with Kevin Stefanski. Baker Mayfield can be the franchise quarterback that they want him to be. This team has found itself, and now it's just building those blocks up from where they're at. They've got the foundation, and now it's only rising from here. So I think this is the game where other people, the national focus shifts to, it's not just the Browns being the Browns anymore, and it's not just a fluke that they are 8-3. This is a legitimate team with hopes of a successful future for years to come.
Picture this, Chase. Picture this. Picture we go into Tennessee, we win, go to 9-3, and then we come home, play a Monday night game at home against Baltimore with a chance to put the last nail in the Baltimore Ravens playoff coffin.
Well,
how about that narrative?
Picture this even better for this narrative, Jeremy. I'm going to say one number, and I want you to try to guess what it is. Plus 1,800. You know what that is? The Browns' odds to win the AFC.
Do you have money on that?
No, I don't. But I don't like to bet on the Browns. It doesn't do good for my heart or for my bank account. But let me tell you, the Browns do beat the Tennessee Titans this week, and we move to 9-3. And that train starts going downhill, and it starts picking up speed. And all of a sudden, we already have, like, there's only 3 teams in the NFL with a better record than us, which that came out of nowhere, right? You start thinking, oh man, if the Chiefs lose 2 and the Steelers, they want to rest more people because they just lost Bud Dupree today. Like, you start seeing this world where you start creating all these other like scenarios, and now you're like, oh, Chase is back. Okay, Chase is back. The Browns are going to be the AFC champs.
Listen, Chase. So a lot of people have been saying there's not that much excitement in the city for the Browns being 8-3. They win this game to go to 9-3 with the Ravens. Yeah. There will be excitement. Then it's even some of the skeptics in town that say, they're not that good, are going to say, whoa. So that's another reason this is such a huge game for that aspect of it too. The momentum building into those last 4 games, including one against the Ravens coming up at home. So this game, I think you asked Cameron earlier, is this the biggest? This is probably the biggest Browns game since 2007.
Okay,
to be honest.
Yeah. Aside from all the other times we've said that, against Denver, against Freddie Kitchens, week
no,
1.
This is the biggest game. I mean, this one because there's substance to it. It's not, what if? It's 8-3 versus 8-3 with a chance to really excite your fan base and to prove all the naysayers wrong. Well, this is a legit big game, and there's substance there.
And it's the biggest game until the next big game, right? I mean, and we can say that because it's December and the Browns are 8-3, and that's like not blowing smoke or just wanting clicks. These are really big games. But if the Browns do beat Tennessee, I just, all safeguards are off, all bumpers are down. It's just Browns Super Bowl Super Browns, baby. That's how I'm going.
That's right.
Oh man, bold predictions, man. Now I'm all fired up. Now I'm all invested again. And Cameron, give me a bold prediction.
Bold prediction. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt break 100 yards each.
Love it.
Yep.
I love it.
That's bold enough. That's bold
enough.
It.
That is what bold. I'm talking about. Jay, what you got?
Okay, so my bold prediction is Baker Mayfield throws 2 touchdown passes in the first quarter. Mayfield, 2 touchdown passes in the first quarter.
I love it. See, you guys are finally 13 weeks. Give me some bold predictions. Man, gosh, all right. So my bold prediction will have to be with our defense. We're going to hold the Titans under 10 points.
Oh, that is bold, baby.
I thought mine was bold.
Right?
You always bold. Top it. I don't know how you do it, but
you guys make me do it. Gosh, you guys make me do it. And it felt weird, like those words coming out of my mouth, but I had to be bold and I had to go bold, and that's bold. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm predicting it'll happen. Jay is speechless for the first time in his life.
First time.
No, we want to say, give a couple shouts. Hey, we want to give shouts to you for listening, for downloading, for checking us out, and allowing us into your life for a couple times this week. Thank you so much. We hope that as you're watching the game and maybe Baker throws one touchdown, like, oh, Jeremy only needs one more, or
That's right.
oh, Chubb got 30 yards in the first quarter. Woo, that's good. That's woo woo woo. So we hope that this adds a little fun to the game. Thank you so much for downloading and listening. Hey, we're trying to get 5,000 followers on our Orange or Browns Twitter account. That will allow us to follow more people and to follow the people that have followed us. So if you guys could just help us out, we just want 5,000. That's really it. And I just want to say thanks. Make sure to check Cameron and all of her writings out. And Cameron, do you have any final thoughts?
It's gonna chill these nerves out a little bit, get a little bit more confident as the week moves on, but a little bit more on edge. But really excited for this 8-3 Browns team to have a pretty big test. This is real life good Cleveland Browns football. So here we are. Enjoy it while it's here. Get yourself hype and follow us on Twitter. Obviously, what are you doing? If you're not following our podcast on Twitter, you're doing something wrong.
Jeremy, any final thoughts, brother?
Yeah, 9-3, baby. 9-3 with the Ravens coming to town. That's my final thought. Let's go.
Let's do it. Thank you for downloading and listening. We'll catch you hopefully on a victory recap Sunday evening, Monday morning.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Let's get it.
We're talking about the Super Bowl. Anything less is impossible. Brown and orange for the USA.